Hello, good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us for this webinar for Sage HRMS. My name is Angela Harris. I am the Customer Account Manager here at E2B Technologies. Most of you probably know me. And we are pleased to have Danny Martinez here, sorry. He's the sales engineer, and he's going to be showing us Sage HRMS. And if you guys have any questions, you can put them in the chat box. And I think we're going to have some time, hopefully at the end, for questions and answers, or you can always contact me. So I will turn it over to you, Danny.
Thanks, Angela. Thanks, everyone. Good morning. Thank you for joining. Happy Wednesday. Yes, my name is Danny Martinez, and I'm a field sales engineer over at Sage. I've been working on this product now for about 10 years, so just here to educate our audience that Sage actually has a HR module that can really enhance your Sage 100, or even if you're using a Sage 300 module as well. Again, just to point out, I'm not sure, but did you folks know that Sage has a human resources solution that can avoid risk and ensure compliance and link core employee data over to payroll? So folks, this is the main topic of today, is to really reduce the burden of risk and compliance within your internal HR department. So just a quick question. I mean, what does your HR system look like? Kind of put a screen up here with the, maybe I would like to say, chaos within your HR department. It may not be as chaotic as I'm picturing here, but you know, some HR departments still work off of Excel spreadsheets. You know, maybe everything is paper files. Maybe you have multiple databases, or the old-fashioned sticky notes and emails and text messages, or maybe it's just pure memory. But as you can see, without a core solution, that can sometimes create pure chaos. So let me introduce you to Sage HRMS. Now your HR data can be in compliance and linked over to your current Sage 100 ERP payroll software. Just to show a quick slide here on the portfolio within HRMS. So it's not just a HR module that we offer, but as you see here in my honeycomb slide, we have a human resources module. You have an area for benefit management. We have an employee self-service. There's the ability to do paperless forms. We have time and attendance. Of course, that payroll integration into Sage 100. There is a nice alerting mechanism. There's performance management. We have training management, and also recruiting and onboarding. So just to point out that this portfolio is quite extensive. So as the need is there, you can start off with a core HR module and move into other phases within your organization. So I know some are probably asking, you know, question of the day, how does it work? Sage 100 Payroll Link connects HR, which is the HRMS core module, and payroll. So you can use Sage 100 Payroll Link to connect your Sage HRMS. The HR company that is built into HRMS can now connect to your payroll company in your Sage 100. No worries if you're not on the latest one. There are some other compatible versions, but in here, I'm showing the Sage 100 2018. We can also add employees that are already set up in Sage 100 Payroll to Sage HRMS. We can update Sage 100 Payroll with employee information that is maintained in HR. So that is one of the big things here, is that synchronization of that HR data into payroll. You can also update Sage 100 Payroll with employee absence transactions that are managed in Sage HRMS Time Off. So built into the core, folks, there is a time off that will sync over into payroll and, you know, place those transactions within the time cards in Sage 100. Also, transfer pay history. So employees can view their pay stub information in the employee self-service. So again, with that, reducing the burden of risk and compliance, here are some of the core functions included in the core. You have employee demographic data, HR status and seniority levels, current pay and current job information, job history records, where we all know in payroll that is probably slim to none, benefits and savings plans, time off management, another big one. You can track all of your company's time off plans, no limitation, OSHA and workers' comp claims, training details and history, and of course, the big one here today, HR compliance reporting. You can also generate and e-file the ACA forms. Customizable employee data screen. So if there's information that you want to customize or personalize in the core, like company equipment or fleet vehicles or uniforms, we can create those screens in HR. And of course, the Sage Payroll link. So just a few screenshots to show you how the data works. On the left side of the screen here, that is my HRMS screen for the personal demographics tab. This is showing how the data flows with that pay link, the synchronization, over into your Sage 100. So as you see, the HR will now become your mothership of the data and is now pushed and synchronized and hires the employee into the Sage 100 database, so you don't have to key that data in twice. You put it in HR, and now HR essentially tells payroll what to do and hires them in there, and you folks can go ahead and process that payroll. Also too, in Sage HRMS, there are built-in Sage 100 payroll configuration screens. So as you are adding that new hire into the core, you have these nice screens where you can set up the payroll status, the federal taxes, some state taxes, and also local tax information. That is also a part of the synchronization process. So as you see here, you have that single point of truth where you're hiring your employees and all that data is being synchronized over into Sage 100 payroll. Another nice screenshot having in the core, you have a personalized employee roster. So at any given time, you need to jump into the software and do an employee find or filter out some org levels, or if you're looking for particular data, these screens can help you to manage your employee data here within the core. Also too, there are user-friendly task wizards and setup screens. So if you look on the left-hand side there, I have data that I can do via a task. When I say a task or a wizard, these are like setup screens, an interview process, almost like you going online and doing your tax information, or like an open enrollment process where you're guided through a wizard, a next kind of feature and steps. So everything here, essentially adding a new hire or assigning leave of absence or changing pay, all of these wizards are driven in a step process where you populate the data, it adds it to the record of the employee, and now this information can be synchronized over to your Sage 100. Oh, and did I mention there is an employee self-service portal. So another nice enhancement to your portfolio, you have the HR core module, again, that mothership of HR data. You now have that synchronization over to payroll. And now when you process that payroll, a lot of that information is now pushed into the ESS, the employee self-service, so they can view HR data and also pay stub information online. Creating that employee experience, investing in employee engagement increases workflow retention and thus decreases employee turnover costs. And I've heard this over and over again, an employee will be motivated to stay at a company when they feel comfortable and well-respected and fairly compensated, and see all possibilities for growth and personal development. Folks, this is a known fact. Just to point out myself, not to pat myself on the back, but we work for Sage. We are a technology company. We have all these nice features available to us. Yes, I am a happy employee because I know on the fly that I can hop into a portal and view all of my HR data and my payroll information at any given time. Just a few screenshots of these employee self-service features. Again, this is online. It can be accessible on their smart devices. So essentially, folks, employees can view and update HR data online and via mobile devices. So as you see on the left side here, I am logged in as an employee here, and I have all these different areas that I can view, personal profiles. This particular screen is showing my current benefits because they are set up in my core, HRMS, and I am now allowing my employees to view this data online. And as you see on the right-hand side there, that is a screenshot of a mobile device that they can also view the data if they were not logged in directly into the ESS. So another nice feature to offer to your employees, at least they have core data in HR and also benefits and payroll information as well. This is the screen I was telling you about, the pay history. So once you process that payroll and you finalize it in your Sage 100, you now reveal all of this pay history data to your employees online, and you folks control the history and how much content you want them to view online. As you see, it is by pay date, all of the wages, deductions, taxes, the net pay, and they can also download their stubs online. Folks, this is a great feature for your current software. I'm sure, I don't want to say a headache, but sometimes it can become a burden when employees are always asking for copies of paycheck stubs or need help understanding wages and deductions information. At least it's available to them online, and they can ask internally about any of the information that they view within the employee self-service. Another nice area, folks, being that you have your core, you also have your payroll, and within the ESS, we can also have compliance forms. So within your organization, if you folks want to have any required actions, we can deliver this via the Sage HRMS HR Actions. We can create these menus of onboarding, performance reviews, acknowledgements, training, maybe some offboarding, maybe some other compliance forms that you have internally. So another nice feature to offer your employees where they can hop in online, they can view all their critical HR data, payroll data, and also have a menu to fill out a lot of these forms electronically here online. And nice part too, folks, is that a lot of these forms are mapped back to your HR database. So once the process is approved, it is fed back in, and now you have that data updated for reporting. So here we go again, pointing out, the risk of compliance and the burden within your HR department. So some of the key benefits here within a Sage HRMS, folks, you have a centralized HR on-premise database. You now have a synchronization over to payroll. There are sophisticated multi-level user securities. So if you have other people accessing the software, you have a master user, and we can create roles so those particular users only have access to certain areas in the software. Reduce admin mistakes and costs with reporting. Eliminate manual processes. Identify costly benefits and incidents. One of the best features within HR Core is the on-demand reporting and queries. So, those times that higher-ups need those reports, or maybe third-party need reports or benefit reports, at any given time, you can log in and run those on-demand reporting. Also, that employee self-service portal, the employer return on investment, and most important, team, is that HR compliance. And I give a little chart here on the side with the payroll management, the risk mitigation and compliance, talent management, paperless HR, employee benefits management, decision support, recruiting and onboarding, just to point out again the portfolio that you folks have within this core module. Stay on top of ACA reporting with My Workforce Analyzer. I know some users have this within the Sage 100. It is not particularly called a My Workforce Analyzer. There is a tool that is available for Sage 100, But why use that when you now have a core module that looks at your benefit table setup and allows you to drive, report, and produce the ACA forms at year end? You can also do reporting throughout any given time of the year. You can now generate the forms and send them over with Atrix. I'm not sure if anyone on the phone here has a partnership with Atrix, but Atrix would take the file from the software securely and file this on your behalf to the federal government in complete requirement of the ACA reporting. So here, another nice feature to stay on top of your ACA forms and being in compliance with those forms. Just a quick screenshot of what the dashboards look like. So within that same tool, you folks have dashboards and analysis tools, so you can kind of figure out that large employer determination, any of your part-time and employee period hours, so you can define that information. There's interactive charts and filters. You also have stability periods. So as you see within this tool, you folks, again, you're staying on top of that compliance, but you also have the opportunity to view this data at any given time. More information in the core of HR. As you see here, I have all these different compliance reports, EEO reporting, I-9 verifications, VETS reports, OSHA reports. Maybe some folks have to e-file the OSHA logs. We also have compensation reports. So all that job history that you folks have now in that core HRMS, you can now view turnover reports or salary history, or maybe you just want to do an analysis by employees or a group of employees. This is that area where I was pointing out that you have that on-demand reporting at any given time now that you have that HR core, that mothership of data. Just to point out, there is a huge requirement coming up here with the EEO1, so very important that I like to point out to my customers on the phone. New pay data requirements for EEO1 reporting is due September 30th, 2019. SAGE is closely monitoring component 2. Actually, I would like to share that it has been delivered, so we do know the specs. What I'd like to add to the screen here is that this is actually going to be delivered by SAGE on September 6th. So you will have this delivered as a product update for your HRMS software coming September 6th. So here we go again with our goal is to ensure that our customers can electronically file in a timely manner. And folks, this is a perfect example of our commitment to compliance. The whole purpose of this call, remember again, is to reduce that burden of risk and compliance within your HR department, and SAGE stands behind that 100%. Just another screenshot here of the employee self-service. Bigger picture, as an administrator, you have a complete snapshot of your organization. So with a lot of those modules I was showing you on the screen prior, if you had that portfolio with the ESS, the benefits enrollment, maybe some of the HR actions, as an administrator, you can come in and you have a snapshot of your entire organization and pretty much where things are standing. Just an example here on my middle screen, my open enrollment process. I have some time off messages. I can view my employees' time off. I can run reports and queries from the ESS. So as you see, throughout the day, you can log in here and have a snapshot of where your organization sits. I'm just recording here. If any folks have, come up with questions after the fact, or, anything that comes up, please, reach out to Angela Harris. She is your client account manager. Her email address is listed there with her phone number, and I'll work with Angela to get those questions answered. Or even if you folks would like to see a product presentation, I'm here for you folks.
Perfect.